The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program's participants and do not necessarily reflect those of station staff, management, and advertisers.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday, pushing the limits. Thank you so much for being here, PTL Nation, ever so fast growing, large family. Appreciate you guys being here on what is a very, very busy news day. We got a lot to get to. Obviously, we're going to talk about Eric Swalwell, my opinions on that, and get your thoughts. Savannah Hernandez, who apparently was assaulted at an anti-ICE rally facility. Why I think she's a MAGA grifter and a liar, and all of these people are hypocrites. We'll get to that story coming up a little bit later. The Trump Jesus post is very interesting. So, man, we have so much to get to today. There's so much to talk about. Oh, yeah, the negotiations didn't really work with J.D. Vance. Joining us, as he always does so graciously on a Monday, taking time from his very busy schedule to hardest working in the game. The editor-in-chief of Midas Touch, the very own Ron Filipkowski, joining us right now on the program. Ron, it's great to see you. How you doing, my friend? Do we have Ron?
Yeah, sorry, you've been breaking up on me a little bit. So
sorry about that. Can you hear me now? Everything good?
A little bit better, yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I don't know if that's on our end or yours. But thanks for joining us, Ron. I appreciate it. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Yep. I have to start out with this because you've been all over this. This is wild. Donald Trump's Jesus post, for lack of a better term, he takes it down. And then he makes the excuse in front of the White House to the media today that he was just being a doctor. Can you just take us through this, how this happened, portray it to us, why he took it down in the timeline? Because you've been all over this story.
This is a subject that I've sort of been following since 2016, actually, which is like Trump and his desire or attempt to court evangelical voters, which was a big issue for him back in 2016. Mm-hmm. And what he did then was he rounded up a bunch of pastors of mega churches who were political and got them to back him. At that time, most evangelicals were backing Ted Cruz in the 2016 primary. So this was a big problem for Trump. And he got all these pastors to get behind him and endorse him. I don't know what he promised these people, but he convinced them somehow that he was on their side. And that was some of the funniest moments of the 2016 campaign, was when he was going on these religious broadcasts and they were asking him about his relationship with Jesus and the Bible. And he said the 2 Corinthians stuff and all this other funny stuff that showed that he has never read the Bible, and has never went to church. So fast forward to 2023 during the primary, and the Trump campaign started doing something like completely different than they had ever done before. And it kind of shocked me. They were taking everywhere they went for a rally, they'd take a local pastor from some local church in the area and have them give the opening prayer. But these prayers were not really prayers. They were always like about how the theme was always how Trump is the new Messiah. And Trump has been sent by God to save America, to save Western civilization, to save white Christian evangelicals, And so, and I posted all these prayers on social media. I clipped every one of them, and they were one crazier than the next, just absolutely bizarre, nutso stuff. And so you started hearing a lot from the people at the rallies who were being interviewed that they were echoing this stuff. They were talking more and more about Trump being the Messiah and sent by God and this and that. And it was very disturbing thing. And Trump has, since his presidency, sort of continued this theme a little bit on Truth Social, where he's continued to post a lot of these crazy religious memes and messages showing him in some different biblical way. And, this one probably went a little bit too far, compared to some of the other ones, because it kind of showed Trump as Jesus laying his hands on a sick person and healing them with people reverently looking on. And then, there was this massive backlash all morning long among some of his strongest supporters, including many of his religious supporters, demanding that he take it down, and he finally did delete it.
And what do you make of his statement at the White House earlier today when a member of the media asked him about it? And he says, well, I just wanted to make people better. That was his excuse. And he's blaming, of course, the left for this outcry, when you appropriately pointed out it's a lot of his supporters that are upset at him right now.
Trump didn't take it down because of the left or the media criticizing him. I mean, the left and the media criticizes him every day about everything. It's his strongest supporters who went nuts and were hammering him that caused him to take it down, not us. In fact, there wasn't anybody on the left telling him to take it down. The people that were telling him to, we were all just making fun of it. People who were telling him to take it down was his supporters. And so that's why he took it down. And so his explanation today was, he said, well, I thought it was showing me as a doctor working for the Red Cross. I mean, if you look at this photo, you know, he's like in a Jesus robe with a scarf on, and he's holding like some kind of fireball in one hand and fire coming out of his hand on the other. I haven't seen too many Red Cross doctors with fire shooting out of their hands.
As I've battled a few on social media today, Ron, as I do from time to time, I say, okay, you're still going to support him. It doesn't matter. You're still going to support him no matter what he does. You can call it out, but you would vote for him tomorrow. So I really don't care what they say. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Pope fallout, right? I mean, Trump attacking the Pope because the Pope isn't kissing the ring. This has been going on for a little while now. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, Trump just took his standard playbook that he always uses against any prominent person that criticizes him. Like, for example, this weekend, he took a fake photo of Bruce Springsteen showing him with, like, you know, supposedly before plastic surgery. And it was just some fake AI photo that was generated. So, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that Trump always does. When Jimmy Kimmel or some other person, political person, criticizes him, Trump will go after him in some tasteless, despicable way. The problem is he now did it to the Pope, which is like, you know, a different situation. You can't treat the Pope, especially the first American Pope, like you treat, you know, Jimmy Kimmel or Hillary Clinton, you know, because the problem is tens of millions of his supporters are Catholic and love the Pope. So once again, and you know, his Jesus meme post was like 4 hours after he made the crazy post attacking the Pope, where he was calling him soft on crime. I'm not sure that we really want a tough on crime Pope, but you know, that seemed to be Trump's theme. But mostly, you know, the Pope's comments, he was critical of Trump on the war, and
rightfully
that's
so.
what made Trump mad.
Yeah,
you know?
Rightfully so. I'm with you. On a lighter note, what do you make of this DoorDash photo op? It turns out, and again, you correctly pointed out, and it's so important what you do, is that this person who did this delivery was a Trump supporter from Arkansas, right?
Something else we documented many times during the campaign. You know, this is going back to the campaign playbook. I guess they're gearing up towards the midterms, and they really like run the same play. That's what the Trump machine does. They have a play that they think works and it's good for them, and they just keep running the play over and over and over again. I guess under the theory, like a football coach, we're going to run the play until you stop it. So they did this all throughout the campaign. We saw him at a McDonald's working the fry machine.
Right.
We saw him at various restaurants buying pizza, buying cheeseburgers, you know, Chick-fil-A's, where he'll walk in and he's acting like everything is organic, you know, that he's just running into random people who are big Trump supporters, you know, who thank him for various things. When, as we documented many times throughout the campaign, every one of these events was staged. Like, the people there were not like rando customers. They were Republican operatives who were put in these places. Everything was choreographed and staged. So today, the theme of the day was supposed to be Trump talking about no tax on tips. And the reason for this is the Republican re-election committees, both in the House and Senate, have arrived at the conclusion that that is the only thing they have to run on in the midterms. They have nothing else to run on. They can't run on affordability. They can't run on no new wars. I mean, everything that they planned on running last year, a booming economy, low unemployment, everything that they hope to run on is all up in smoke. It's gone. They have nothing left to run on. And one House Republican told Politico yesterday that exact thing, saying the only thing we have to run on is the tax cuts. So today is day one. They're back from Easter recess, and the theme of the day is to hammer away at no tax on tips. So the plan was, let's get a DoorDash person who gets tips to deliver McDonald's to the White House, and Trump is going to, talk to this person about the fact of, oh, aren't you happy about no tax on tips? The problem is this thing came off as so ridiculous. The woman is from Arkansas, who is like flown in, who has spoken at Republican events in the past. And she says she thanks Trump for the no tax on tips, saying that she's using that extra money to help pay for her husband's cancer treatments. Keep in mind, they cut funding for healthcare in the Republican budget to make room for no tax on tips, but she's going to make up for that with her extra money that she gets from not having to pay taxes on her
and
tips.
Ron, as you know, it's not necessarily no tax on tips. It's no tax on tips at a $25,000 cap. There's a lot of people, waiters and waitresses, that are making $4 or $5 an hour, and they make more than $25,000 a year. But Trump will never say that. It's no tax on tips, cap $25,000. I think that's also very important to note.
It's
go
also important to note for your people in Las Vegas who know this very well, that when the economy sucks so bad and no tourists are coming to your town, it doesn't really matter if you have no tax on tips because you're not getting any tips.
Exactly. That's a really good point. So Ron, it's been a really tough few weeks for JD Vance, right? But I wanted to ask you about this first before we get to JD Vance. Obviously, Ron, I have tremendous respect for you and anybody who serves this country honorably like yourself. We're in an ill-advised war in Iran. And what does Donald Trump do over the weekend with Marco Rubio? They're hanging out at a UFC fight. This has got to get your blood boiling because it certainly pisses me off. How is it possible? We're in an ill-advised war, and if Donald Trump isn't playing golf, he's partying with Dana White and Joe Rogan.
Yeah, it kind of blew my mind because, the negotiating team originally was always like Witkoff and Kushner. But the Iranians said, we're not meeting with Witkoff and Kushner because they believe that they are in the pocket of Netanyahu. I think justifiably so. So they said, we're not going to get anywhere with these two. And the only one out there in the Trump administration who seems to express that he does not agree with this war is JD Vance. So they specifically asked for Vance, right?
Yeah.
So Trump sends Vance, but the big question is, where's Marco Rubio in all this? Because literally this is Marco Rubio's job, Secretary of State. This is what he is supposed to be doing. Iran sent their foreign minister, Rubio's counterpart. They sent their parliament speaker, which would be Mike Johnson's counterpart, to the negotiations and the head of their military. And we send Kushner, Witkoff, and Vance, which is like the Three Stooges. So, turns out, my question that whole weekend was like, why isn't Rubio going? This makes no sense. Rubio is supposed to be touted by all these Republicans in Congress as like the adult in the room, the one person who really knows what he's doing. And yet he's not even going to the peace negotiations in something that's incredibly important. So I'm wondering, where is Rubio? Then turns out I see Trump going into this UFC fight in Miami. Who does he walk over to shake hands with first? Marco Rubio. I'm like, what the hell is Marco Rubio doing at the UFC fight? Literally, the negotiations were falling apart at that moment in Iran. So I'm watching JD Vance's little press conference where he's describing the fact that all the negotiations just fell apart. And I'm watching Trump at the UFC fight with the Secretary of State. And I'm like, we're not a serious country.
Not right now. I completely agree with you. And then let's talk about the Strait of Hormuz, where Trump is now making it, if it's even possible, worse. Talk about the situation where we're at right now and why gas prices are now continuing to rise because of Donald Trump's direct actions.
Well, this is all really going to come down to how India and China reacts, because what was being allowed before was Iran was allowing tankers to go through from China, India, and a few other of their allied countries to bring oil out of the strait, as long as it was coming from Iranian ports. So there was some minimal amount of traffic being allowed. And the U.S. did not attempt to stop that because the U.S. did not want to cross China and India in that way, especially since Trump has a major summit coming up with President Xi in the next couple of weeks. So now then Trump comes out and announces total blockade. That's all over with now, that he is going to, as of 10 o'clock Eastern this morning, completely shut down the straits. Nothing is allowed in or out. So he then called upon NATO allies and other allied countries, including Gulf countries, to help him with this blockade. Every single one of them refused. Not one country has said that they will join the United States. So all eyes on China. How is China going to react to this? Is China going to continue to send their tankers through the straits? Is the U.S. Navy going to attempt to stop the Chinese Navy? Let's say the Chinese Navy escorts one of these tankers. So that's what we don't know.
Yeah.
We know that the foreign minister of China addressed this early this morning and denounced this blockade and said that they have every right to transit the strait and the U.S. has no right to stop them. So it's not, China is talking tough, talking like they're going to stand up to this blockade. But the question is, are they going to act tough? Are they going to try and force their way through the straits or not? That's really what this is all going to come down to. But regardless, this is going to be really, really bad for the global economy. I mean, we haven't even scratched the surface of how bad this is going to be.
And I think it's only going to get worse, and time will tell, Ron. I agree with you. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about Eric Swalwell a little bit later in the program, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it. First of all, MAGA hypocrisy, right? I think we can both agree these allegations are very serious. I think Eric Swalwell should step down from Congress as well. That's my personal opinion. And I'll go more into detail later on in my show, Ron. I want to get your thoughts on it. But I do find the MAGA hypocrisy very interesting because the guy who they still support is a liable sexual abuser who has 25 women, as you know, that have come forward that have accused him of rape or sexual assault. And he's named 30,000 times in the Epstein files. But they're willing to put that off to the side. But Eric Swalwell stepped down. I just think they have no credibility.
Yeah, and you got the Republican representative from Texas who's, aide he had an affair with, killed herself by setting herself on fire. He's Gonzalez, he's still serving.
Right.
He hasn't been removed. Mike Johnson said, well, we can't do anything about him because innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. Well, I don't think that applies to Swalwell. So there's two things. He's obviously pulled out of the governor's race. We know that he did that, but what's going to happen with his seat in Congress? He doesn't appear interested at all in stepping aside. So it takes 2/3 vote to remove someone from Congress, as we learned with George Santos. Which is the last person to be removed. So the question is, how do you get this through? Well, what they're talking about doing is doing like a deal where you put the expulsions of both Swalwell and Gonzalez together, one Republican and one Democrat, and make it a package deal to try and get votes from both parties enough to expel both of them. So that's kind of where we're at. I would say that Swalwell's career is over. It's not just one person, it's multiple people. It's not just anonymous people. It's at least one prominent Democratic operative is involved here who he supposedly sent, dick pics to. So I think Swalwell's probably done. And if I probably had to bet today, I'd bet probably Tom Steyer is going to be the governor of California now.
That would not surprise me. He certainly has the money to do it. That's for sure. That is certainly for sure. Ron, before I let you go, one of the best Substacks in the business, to all of the listeners out there. I'm sure you have a lot to write about today. What are you working on?
Well, all the stuff we just talked about in a lot more detail, including a lot of the MAGA reaction to the Pope thing or the Jesus thing. I got a lot of big names that, were taking shots at Trump all morning that I'll include in there.
Mm.
That, a lot of midterm update stuff that's
Yep.
happening right now, including the Maine Senate race, the Iowa races, North Carolina, Georgia, few updates on those, Alaska as well, the Senate race up there. So a bunch of stuff there. And also Peter Magyar's first press conference was this morning, the new prime minister of Hungary who just defeated Orban. I watched that.
Yes.
And I was extremely impressed with that press conference. It was really, really powerful and on a lot of different issues. What a refreshing change to Orban. And keep in mind, this guy is no lib. He is a center-right conservative, but he's not a Putin puppet, and he's pro-Europe. So, it's not like, oh, hallelujah, we got some democratic socialist, social democrat in there. No, that's not it. We just want a normal conservative.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice to hear from a normal conservative again,
Mhm.
since we don't have any in this country anymore. And I thought it was incredible press conference, and I include a number of quotes in my Substack today from that.
Right. And as you appropriately tweeted out, which was very funny and true, you said, well, next thing Trump will say he doesn't know who Viktor Orban is, doesn't know the man. That's what he tweeted out. And it's actually pretty much.
He hasn't mentioned the election since it happened. He hasn't
Never heard of the guy.
Orban.
I don't know who that is. I'm not familiar with him. Yeah, it's actually very true.
He was asked about Orban this morning and he walked away from the reporter.
It's so typical, man. It's so typical. We'll see if he gets any DoorDash deliveries tomorrow. Ron, you're the best, my friend. You keep me sane with your sarcasm and your humor on social media. Keep up the great work, my friend. Always appreciate the time and can't wait for your Substack tonight, my friend. Thank you so much.
All right. See you later.
See you, Ron. Ron Filipkowski, everybody. I love that guy. I've always said he's one of the best in the business and the best Substack around. All right, so we have a lot of business to take care of. I have a lot that I want to talk to you guys about. And I'm going to get this out of the way right now. We're going to get to this Savannah Hernandez, despicable MAGA, a little bit later on in the program. She was assaulted at an anti-ICE rally. We will get to that. But I want to start off with Eric Swalwell. So if you hadn't already have heard, if you're living under a rock, Eric Swalwell has several sexual misconduct allegations. A lot of people are asking for his expulsion from Congress. And it's very serious. He already ended his gubernatorial bid yesterday after being accused of sexually assaulting a former aide and other instances of misconduct. There are lawmakers on both sides of the aisle that are calling it out. I want to play you some audio from Eric Swalwell himself. Obviously, I'm going to give you my opinions on what I think should happen here. But this was Eric Swalwell's statement yesterday publicly on his social media page. Watch this.
A lot has been said about me today through anonymous allegations. I thought it was important that you see and hear from me directly. These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They are absolutely false. They did not happen. They have never happened. And I will fight them with everything that I have. They also come on the eve of an election where I have been the frontrunner candidate for governor in California. I do not suggest to you in any way that I'm perfect or that I'm a saint. I have certainly made mistakes in judgment in my past, but those mistakes are between me and my wife. And to her, I apologize deeply for putting her in this position. I also apologize to you if in any way you have doubted your support for me. But I think you know who I am. For over 20 years, I have served the public as a city councilman, as a member of Congress, and as a prosecutor who went to court on behalf of victims, particularly on behalf of sexual assault victims. That's who I am and have always been. This weekend, I'm going to spend time with my family and friends, and I appreciate those who have reached out to me to show support. And I look forward to updating you very soon.
All right, well, I'll be the first one to admit, Eric, you're a scumbag. You are a scumbag. You should step down from Congress. I don't support you. I should have never supported you. I had no idea you were engaged in this type of activity. I don't know if you committed any crimes, but I do know this. These are very serious accusations, and we know you are not a man of moral principle, and maybe you never were. It wasn't that long ago that Eric Swalwell appeared on this show. Here's a little tidbit or a little clip of him when I interviewed him last year.
WWF, as I was growing up, can recognize pro wrestling when I see it. And I call it 2/3, 1/3. About two-thirds of these folks on the MAGA side are absolutely pro wrestlers. I mean, they have a persona when they're in the quote unquote ring, when they're on camera, when they're in Congress, when they're in front of the voters. But privately, they are completely someone else. Either they want to like bro out with you, they want to be your friend, and they almost to a T, the two-third crowd, they're embarrassed of Donald Trump, and they hate, what he puts them in a position to have to do. Now, there's 1/3 of them, and I would put Marjorie Taylor Greene and Bo Burt and Jordan in this crowd. I mean, they are true MAGA believers. And I actually, to be honest, I can respect and deal with that easier than I can with somebody who knows better, but still carries out the
Well, Eric, you knew better. Look what you did to your family. And when you decide to go into public life, it's not just your wife and your family that you're putting in a horrible position. It's also the people that have supported you, the people that voted for you, the people that had faith in you. We cannot be like them. And when I think of Tony Gonzalez, a Republican from Texas who admitted to having an affair with a former congressional staffer and allegedly setting herself on fire and later dying, also accused of sending sexually explicit messages to a former campaign aide, they both need to go. Now, my personal opinion, if somebody accuses you of sexual assault, you should immediately file a defamation suit. Even though he's denied the accusations, maybe he doesn't want discovery. Eric Swalwell is not a good guy. Tony Gonzalez is not a good guy. And they both need to go. And I call on both of them to step down. And I've been very consistent on that. And I am so disappointed in Eric Swalwell. But that is one of the fundamental differences today, in my opinion, between most, not all, Republicans and Democrats. You see, most Republicans still stand by Donald Trump. I've been through this plenty of times. He's cheated on every woman he's ever been with. He was found liable for sexual abuse in a courtroom with a jury of his peers. His own ex-wife claimed that he raped her until he paid her off, and then she retracted. 25 other women have accused him of sexual abuse or rape. He's named over 30,000 times in the Epstein files. Yet, the overwhelming majority of Republicans still support Donald Trump. So I say for any of you Trump mushroom gobblers out there, don't even bring up Eric Swalwell's name, because you are nothing but hypocrites. As I have always been consistent on this, and I always will. Anthony Weiner has done this show before. I don't think Anthony Weiner should ever be allowed to run for office ever again. He's done this show multiple times. Eric Swalwell's political career should be over. And yes, for the most part, and there always are going to be some exceptions, I believe women or whoever you are that claim you're the victim of sexual assault, for the most part. Yes, there are going to be exceptions. Of course, I look back to the Duke lacrosse situation. There's always going to be exceptions to that rule. But for the most part, I always seem to believe accusers. And there seems like there's definitely more than one with Eric Swalwell. Eric Swalwell, you're a scumbag. You let us all down. You need to step down and get out of public life and deal with your family and get the hell out of there. The fact that you haven't already stepped down says you have no sense of moral clarity at all. You step down, you say, man, I really screwed up. I did some bad things. I never sexually abused anybody. I'll fight that in court, but I need to step down. At least if you did that, I would maybe have the slightest bit of respect for you. But the fact that you haven't done that yet says that you're selfish and you're only in it for yourself. I am very, very disappointed with Eric Swalwell. and he needs to step down. So obviously there's a lot of other stories to get to today, and I wanted to talk about this one because I think it shows you and it gives you an example of what MAGA hypocrisy looks like. So there's a woman by the name of Savannah Hernandez. Savannah calls herself a journalist. She's no more of a journalist than the Nick Sorters or the Nick Shirleys or the Cam Higbees. She's not a journalist. She used to work for Alex Jones. She has zero integrity, and she is a MAGA grifting buffoon. She decided to show up over the weekend to an anti-ICE protest in Minneapolis. And before I comment on what I think happened, I want to play for you the video first before I get to any commentary. But I will say it is violent, and I will give people a warning. There was pushing and shoving, and there is some forms of violence and some attacks that took place here. I'll get into why I think it's not as serious as some people are making it out to be. But this is the 2 minutes that I wanted to play for you. And keep in mind, while she is being shoved and the moments after she is shoved, and I don't condone any physical violence in any way, shape, or form, I've been very clear on that, she's smiling and she's fixing her hair. Watch this video.
My daughter? No. Stop touching me! You fucking touched me! Leave me! I'm trying to leave!
Just go, though. Look, we're trying to help you. Let's get you out of here. We're trying to leave. Let's go. Let's get you out of here. Let's go. Where are you going? Where do you need to go?
I don't have a car here. Where do you want me to go?
Jared, can we get her somewhere? Let's try to help you, though. We helped
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did. We stopped people from hitting you because you were
I
trying to.
was standing here for an hour.
If we didn't help you, you would have been attacked.
And started attacking me.
We told them to stop.
I didn't do anything.
But you're like trying to play victim so hard when we were losing.
Okay, so I have all this on camera. It's fine. And because we're Minneapolis, you can't press charges against any of these people either. Anyway, so yeah, there we go. There we go, guys. There we go. Minneapolis, incredible. What am I gonna do?
All right. So first of all, you can press charges in Minneapolis. She's a dope, and there have been charges, and I believe there have already been arrests. That's number one. Number two, moments after she was pushed and shoved, she's seen smiling, and as you can see, she's fixing her hair from the camera. Number three, and I will reemphasize this once again, I don't condone violence in any way, shape, or form. Anybody that put their hands on her, they deserve to be held to the highest extent of the law. I will also say there are some videos that show her making physical contact with at least one person first as well. So maybe she should be arrested also. Number three. Number four, there are no examples or evidence that she was physically injured. She claimed the next day that she has headaches. It's another form of whiplash when you get into a fender bender, and then an attorney says, we need to file a lawsuit, go to the chiropractor, let's pretend like you have headaches. She's a liar, and I don't believe any word she says. Number five, she is not a journalist. She wants chaos. She shows up to these events not to conduct serious interviews, not to cover what's going on, so that she can get into altercations with people. And sometimes when it's a very heated situation and those altercations can turn into physical violence, which I don't condone. She is a liar. And there's so many of the people on social media that are saying, arrest the people that assaulted her, put them in jail, throw them in jail for life, give them the electric chair. These are the same people that support Donald Trump, who condones violence. The guy who said after January 6th that those people that were all, I should say 700 of them, that were convicted of violent crime, he called them hostages and patriots. Over 140 officers were injured. Brian Sitnick died the next day. Some of those officers have traumatic brain injury, and Donald Trump not only pardoned all of them, but called them hostages and patriots. So for any MAGA people out there, the same MAGA people that are calling for Eric Swalwell to resign And for the same people that are saying all these people need to go to jail for what they did to Savannah, you're a hypocrite. You support Donald Trump, the guy who said, I'd like to rough that guy up. If you rough him up at my rally, I'll pay your legal bills. Hostages and patriots, a tourist visit on January 6th. I don't condone any form of political violence anywhere. I never liked Charlie Kirk. Nothing gets worse than what happened to him. He didn't deserve that. I called it out. The reason why I don't feel bad for people like Savannah is because she also believed that the people who beat cops on January 6th were patriots. How would you like it if I went on the air today or went on social media and I said, all the people that were surrounding Savannah are hostages and patriots, and I hope they get a pardon? You would say I'd be ridiculous, and you'd be right. But you see, MAGA, they don't hold people to the same standards. If you're an Enrique Tarrio or if you're somebody who beat cops on January 6th, you're a patriot. You're a hostage. And make no mistake about this, while I don't condone political violence, the worst thing that happened to Savannah was that she was pushed to the ground, which again, I don't condone. But she doesn't have traumatic brain injury. She didn't pass away. Some of those officers and what they had to go through on January 6th did. These are hypocrites. And I'm going to call each and every one of them out. People like Nancy Mace, who say Eric Swalwell should resign while she still supports Donald Trump and claims allegedly that she was the victim of sexual assault or abuse. By the way, I don't believe anything Nancy Mace says. There are exceptions to the rule. You have zero credibility. For those of you that think everybody that assaulted Savannah Hernandez deserved the death penalty, throw them in jail, lock away the key, where were you when Donald Trump pardoned all those January 6th insurrectionists? You're a hypocrite. What I want is consistency, but make no mistake about it. Savannah and many of these other right-wing grifters, because I have zero respect for her, they go there because they want chaos. I guarantee you, if you had asked Savannah the day before this incident, do you want this to happen? What's going to happen to me? Well, you're going to get pushed to the ground a few times. Your videos are going to go viral. Attorneys will take your case and try to file lawsuits. She would have said, bring it. I guarantee you. Now, she would never admit that publicly. That's what they want. I've seen some Trump agitators like the Cam Higbees of the world and others where a protester will grab their hat and throw it, and they act like they just got abused. They just got assaulted. You see it with these MAGA grifters every single day. Nick Sorter and others. What is he suing? A police department for $100 million because they arrested him? They play victim. Oh, the left, they're the only violent ones. Oh, the left, they did this. When in turn, this is what they want. Now, do I think they want to be sent to the hospital and seriously injured? No, I don't. But they put themselves in these situations and they want chaos because they want to go viral. They want a clip farm. They want these videos to go viral for only one reason, so they can make money. And sadly, Savannah's getting all the attention, and she's going to make money off of this. Do I condone any of the violence or anybody putting their hands on her? No, of course not. You're an idiot if you do that. It'll be investigated. We'll see exactly what happened. I'm sure there'll be other camera angles. Savannah is an atrocious human being. Savannah is a person who goes on social media and says if people don't speak English, they should all be deported. She's a racist. She's a bigot. She's a MAGA grifting cuck is what she is. Do I condone any sort of political violence? Of course not. I would never do that. I would absolutely never do that. But this is an embarrassment. These MAGA grifters are an embarrassment. And it needs to be called out. I do want to open up the phone lines at 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you do want to be a part of the program, 702-221-7283. We're talking about multiple topics today. Eric Swalwell, do you think Eric Swalwell should step down? I've given you my opinion. I do think he should. He's a scumbag. Absolute scumbag. Do I know for sure whether he committed any crimes or not? I don't know. But he's an embarrassment to the country, and he needs to step down, just like Gonzalez needs to step down. So we're starting there. We're talking a little bit about Eric Swalwell, of course, and then the Savannah Hernandez situation. I wouldn't necessarily call her a victim. While I don't condone any sort of political violence at all, that's what these MAGA grifters want. This is exactly what these MAGA grifters do. So obviously we're talking about that as well. The Trump Jesus post, where he's, he is portraying himself as Jesus Christ, says he's just trying to make people better. And then a lot of right-wing idiots are now all of a sudden saying, take that down, that's inappropriate. Like he hasn't done anything like this before. Obviously, we're talking about that and the Pope fallout as well. And this DoorDash fake photo op, which is insane. It's absolutely ridiculous. The number to call again if you want to be a part of the conversation is 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the program, 702-221-7283. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back with your phone calls on the other side. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP. All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Monday. So glad you all are joining us on what is a very busy news day. There's a lot that we are discussing, and we've opened up the phone lines. If you're just joining me, what topics are we covering today? Obviously, Eric Swalwell fallout. I've made the case very clear in my estimation that I believe Eric Swalwell should step down. I think he's a disgrace. Just like I think Gonzalez should step down as well. These are not people that should be representing anybody in office. The point I'm trying to make is if you're a Donald Trump supporter, you have no credibility. Here's a guy that's got 25 women that have accused him of abuse. 30,000 times he's named in the Epstein files. So if you're calling on Eric Swalwell to step down, you should also be calling on Donald Trump to step down. That's the first story we're covering. Savannah Hernandez, she's the, quote, independent journalist who was assaulted at an anti-ICE rally in Minneapolis over the weekend. She was pushed to the ground. Obviously, I don't condone any political violence in any way, shape, or form, but at the same time, If you're a MAGA mushroom gobbler and you're calling on these people to be arrested, why would you support the guy who called those who beat cops on January 6th as hostages and patriots? So I'm calling them out as well. The Donald Trump Jesus post earlier today, getting fallout from people in his own party, including many right-wing evangelicals, as he was trying to portray himself as Jesus Christ. There are some that are calling it blasphemy. So there is a lot of stuff that we are talking about today. The number to call if you do want to be a part of the conversation is 702-221-7283. And again, that number, if you'd like to be a part of the conversation, 702-221-SAVE. Let's lead off with Ken. Hello, Ken. You're first up on PTL. Go right ahead.
Hi, Brian.
Hey.
I don't know where to begin. What are we talking about? Brian Swalwell or
whatever you choose to talk about.
Now,
the
how
topics.
long ago were these accusations with Swalwell?
I don't have the timeline on everything, but here's what I do know. Okay. Here's what I know for sure. Okay. So he apologized to his wife. Certainly there were improprieties that are seen on video. We know that for sure. Cheating is not a crime.
Well, I didn't see any of that, so I don't know.
So that's number one. Number two, I would also say that I find these women to be credible. I don't see a reasoning behind them lying. I tend to believe them. And the first thing he did was apologize to his family. Why has he not filed any defamation suits? So I'm trying to get your take on this because I've clearly given you my take. I think Eric Swalwell was a bad guy and he should step down. What is your take?
I don't know. I actually thought he was a good guy, but I don't know what the accusations are, or truly don't know what the accusations are, or how long ago.
Well, that's yeah. Those are.
It might have been a young kid.
Those are the accusations, and they weren't when he was a kid. They were during his campaign. Those that worked in his campaign. So it didn't happen that long. Yes, exactly. So it didn't happen that long ago.
Well, no, I can understand why you don't like him. No, I understand that. Yeah. I'm just thinking it's like 2020.
No. This is something that happened when he entered public office, and I don't think it happened that long ago. And I think the man needs to step down. And the fact that he hasn't already stepped down, I'd say the same thing about Gonzalez, right? I think it's reprehensible. He should leave Congress immediately. And by the way, I'm not the only one that thinks that, right? Teresa Fernandez, a Democrat in New Mexico, wants him to step down. Jayapal out of Washington wants him to step down. Jared Huffman, a Democrat out of California, is calling for him to step down.
Well, I agree. I agree then.
Yeah,
I absolutely agree. But that Trump thing with the Pope is reprehensible.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah.
I'm not a religious guy at all. I could care less, but that is reprehensible.
It is, and I try to be fair about this, right? And for anybody on the right that said, Brian, why aren't you calling on Swalwell? One of the first things I said on social media is I said that he should step down, and I find it reprehensible. There's always going to be exceptions to the rule, but I do believe these victims. I do when it comes to this sort of abuse, and I think it's absolutely horrible. I appreciate your call, sir. 702-221-SAVE. Let's go to Sangria. Sangria is next up on PTL. Hello, Sangria.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Hey, good. What's on your mind today?
I'm going to be short and sweet. My mother said, what you doing in the dark, come to light, baby. That's all I got to say about, what's his name, Swalwell?
Yeah, Eric Swalwell, yep.
That's all I got to say. I love you and keep up the good work.
Thank you, my dear. I appreciate you. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Again, that number, 702-221-SAVE. Let's go to Scott. Scott is next up on PTL. Hey, Scott, what's going on?
I'm all right. A little disturbed about Eric Swalwell, but if I may throw another topic at you.
Okay.
This morning I heard on Nevada Public Radio that Trump wanted to end energy assistance for the poor.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
It really pissed me the hell. It's like, how much more can the poor give to this country?
Well, Scott,
before we just...
Scott, so first of all, you're 100% correct. Number one, that is true. Number two, don't you find it interesting that He wants to take away basically, and Republicans, it's not just Trump, okay? Most Republicans want to take away almost every government program, whether it be food stamps, welfare, maternity leave, Medicaid. Republicans want to take away basically every program that can help people that are struggling. Yet, unfortunately, when we have this ill-advised and I would say illegal war, apparently we could just print money, $2 billion a day, no problem. You're a patriot if you pay more.
$5 trillion.
Yeah, but you're a patriot if you pay $5.50 a gallon for gas. But those food stamps, ooh, bad. These people are just some of the worst people America has to offer. That's really, let's not even get in the weeds. They're just terrible people.
One thing I'm proud about is that being a Democrat is most of the time we handle our own. We didn't with Ralph Northam back in the day or his assistant governor, but for the most part, we jump ahead and we take like Al Franken, like.
You know what? I want to comment on Al Franken because I think what Al Franken did is nowhere near to the serious level as Eric Swalwell. I'm going to defend Al Franken. I met Al Franken in Manhattan, and I actually had a very nice cup. This was a long time ago, like 15 years ago. But okay, you could make the case that maybe it was a borderline inappropriate picture. Okay, you can make that case. That is not enough to out somebody from office. I'm sorry, it's not. You're going to have another election. Let the voters decide on that one. He was never accused of doing anything criminal, unlike Swalwell. And he didn't, so this is that Al Franken situation was a joke. And I don't think he should have been outed. And I think Democrats made a mistake there. So I will defend him in that situation.
All right, I agree. So have a good day.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad to have a few minutes with you today.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. And let me add, that's a few minutes more than Donald Trump had with Stormy Daniels. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Is this for real? Wow. I got to say, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and a privilege to have the First Lady. Apparently, Melania Trump is on the line and her book. Melania, is that you?
It is. And is this Jew boy on the radio?
Yeah. Well, some people have called me that. It's a little inappropriate, Miss First Lady, but yeah, go right ahead.
I hear someone tell me that you call me hookah.
I have, yes. You ever smoke it? You ever smoke it? Yeah. Did you ever smoke it? Yeah.
Hold, please.
Yeah.
I know not this word, but if someone tell me it's bad, and can you call me this?
Melania, why are you having trouble speaking English? You've been in this country for decades. Why can't you speak English? Why can't you?
Please.
No, hold on a second. You hold.
I will have to go husband the president of the United States.
You haven't called him. You don't call him very often. I understand.
If I go him, okay, I have sleep with him, and then he have give me money.
Numchuck, can you understand anything she's saying? I don't understand. I can't understand a word you're saying. Why did you hold that money? Something about money. I know you know that word very well. Why? Can you be honest? Why did you hold that press conference the other day? Why did you do that?
Well, it kind of secret. See, it come out later. It come out later. But I try to get ahead of things. See?
You tried to get ahead of things. Okay, well that makes sense. When was the last time you slept in the same bed as your husband, Donald J. Trump, your contractual husband? How long ago? How long has it been?
Let me see. When last time he paid me?
Let me see.
I don't remember.
Wait, did you say when was the last time he paid you? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
wow.
I know.
I almost missed that. Wow.
I know not to remember when last time he paid me.
How much are you going to be selling your Christmas ornaments for $99 again during Christmas time?
I must tell you.
Yeah.
About my book.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Your book. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
What about your document? What about the documentary? I heard you're.
Please.
I'm holding.
I don't want to go my husband.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't want you. Go ahead and call your husband, by the way. That wouldn't bother me. But go ahead. Justin Trudeau's her real husband. Yeah.
My book is half price. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And if you go to orangeagent.com.
Orangeagent.com? Wow.
Yes.
Oh.
And use the promo code. You know promo code?
Yeah, what's the promo code?
Epstein.
Epstein's the promo code for you. Wow. Okay.
Epstein
Interesting.
promo code.
Okay.
Then you get another 20% off. So that is total.
That's a good deal. Yeah. It's a good deal.
70% off.
All right. Hold on, Melania.
Month.
All right. Well, hold on. Enough about your book. Did you tell Donald Trump that you were holding that press conference the other day?
No.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Tell him
Yeah.
anything.
That's what is there any chance that Barron can be signed up to serve in the military and go to Iran? Is there any chance that would happen?
Oh, no.
No.
I cut his foot off
Yeah.
first.
Wow. Okay. Well, don't do that. We don't want that to happen. A lot of people are speculating that after Donald Trump leaves office, you're going to divorce him. Is there any truth to that rumor?
We see.
Oh, so there's a chance, you're saying. Possibility.
We see.
Can you please tell all the listeners, because I know they're very interested in this, can you tell us all what Donald Trump looks like with his clothes off?
I can't talk about him like that.
Why not?
Because
Why not?
if I talk like that about him, then I have to sleep with him and he has to pay me money.
Oh, okay. I understand.
He not like to spend money.
Understand. Well, Melania, I do appreciate the First Lady calling in. Thank you so much for calling in. I'm sorry for the hell that you have to go through with somebody like Donald J. Trump, whether it be a contractual marriage or not. But I'm honored that you listened to the show and you were willing to call in, First Lady. Thank you so much. And good luck with your book. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. 702-221-SAVE. We are having a little bit of fun here, but we are also talking about a lot of serious topics, which is the challenge that yours truly has to do. Obviously, the allegations, which are very serious, against Eric Swalwell. I've given you my opinions on that. I think he should step down. I think he's a bad guy. As I would say the same thing about Gonzalez. I've also talked about Savannah Hernandez. As I played that video for you with Savannah Hernandez as she was attacked, she was pushed multiple times. She was assaulted, but she's a MAGA grifter because now she's claiming she has headaches and her neck is stiff. And these people go to these rallies because they are agitators. They want chaos. And in some cases, I think they want to be assaulted so they can make a lot of money off of it. I think that's who Savannah Hernandez is. I've been very clear on that as well. And what do you guys think of the Trump Jesus post earlier today? Even it seems like a large contingent of the right-wing evangelicals are not very happy with Donald Trump about this Trump Jesus post that he has since taken down. So a lot of different topics that we're talking about today. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Nelson. Nelson is next up on PTL. Hello, Nelson.
Hey, Brian, how are you? I want to talk about the serious allegations against Eric Swalwell.
Okay.
Supposedly a lot of sexual assault allegations and misconduct claims, obviously it's serious, but you said that he should step down, but we don't have no definitive proof that he committed those crimes yet.
You don't have to have definitive proof in order for somebody's conduct. He's already apologized to his wife and his family. We see videos of him making out and having relations with alleged hookers. We see the behavior of a congressman is you don't have to have evidence that there was some sort of assault in order for somebody to resign or people for asking him to step down. So I disagree with you on that.
All right. Well, obviously, I know it doesn't look good, but all I say is innocent until proven guilty. I think that's only fair.
Innocent until proven guilty. Okay. So where do you have to commit a crime in order for you to step down because of behavior? I mean, does it have to be, you have to be convicted in a court of law? George Santos was outed from Congress way before he was found guilty. So were they wrong to do that?
Well, wait a second. You said he was kissing or I don't know, talking with hookers in a relationship with
yes,
hookers.
there are videos there are videos on social media of clear inappropriate behavior. He's already apologized to his wife and he hasn't denied that because there are videos that are already out there showing that.
Oh no, if that's the case, no, he should resign then. I agree with you. Never mind. If that's the case,
there's videos out there that are already showing this behavior.
No. I apologize. My fault. I apologize then. I was wrong.
Would you apply the same to Donald Trump?
Yeah, Donald Trump is a war criminal. He should go out of office.
All right. So yes. Okay. So I agree with you, but I want to ask you a question. So are you familiar with the post that he put out earlier today, the Trump Jesus post, where he portrayed himself as Jesus Christ?
Yeah, I saw like the image, but I didn't like read about it. But
So most right-wing evangelicals are calling it out and calling it blasphemy. Would you agree with that?
Blasphemy. What's blasphemous about it? I don't understand.
You are portraying yourself as Jesus Christ as a human being, and you are mocking Jesus Christ in the process. And a lot of right-wing evangelicals and staunch Donald Trump supporters are agreeing with me on that. You don't agree? You think that's you don't?
I mean, what is he trying to portray himself as, like Jesus Christ?
Yes, that's the whole point. Yes, that's the whole point of it. That's what I'm trying to show you.
Yeah. No.
We are putting the picture. We are putting the picture up right now. If that's not portraying yourself as Jesus, I don't know what is. The point that I'm trying to make, Nelson, is this: the people who call themselves Christians, people who you seem to support, like the Andrew Wilsons of the world, this is why I call them fake Christians, because any real Christian would call this out. It is blasphemy. It's wrong. Why is it that the people who you listen to that call themselves Christians don't say a peep about this and don't criticize it? What would you call those people, Nelson?
I agree. I disagree with them on that particular.
It's not about disagreeing. It's about saying you're a phony. If you call yourself a Christian like the Andrew Wilsons of the world, and you provide all of your arguments based on your worldview and your Christianity, but yet you don't call out Donald Trump for blasphemy, you are a fake Christian. Why won't you say that right now, that he's a fake Christian?
Yeah, I mean, that's wrong. Obviously,
Is Andrew Wilson a fake Christian? Yes or no?
Well, I mean, Christianity applies to a bunch of other topics too, not just one. You know,
is he a fake Christian for not calling out the president of the United States, who he supports, for portraying himself as Jesus Christ, which anybody on the right that is a right-wing evangelical Christian would call blasphemy? Are you a fake Christian for not calling out those kinds of people portraying themselves as Jesus Christ? Yes or no?
I mean, yeah, that is
okay.
I will admit
Thank you.
Contradictive.
Thank you. So, Nelson, now that we have established that, which we agree on, why would you listen to somebody who is a fake Christian?
Well, I mean, it's not just one topic; it's a variety of different topics.
All right.
In politics.
All right. So you might agree. You might agree with some of his topics, but you're agreeing and you're a fan of somebody that's a fake Christian. Let's just call it for what it is, Nelson.
It's circumstantial. It's circumstantial.
No, it's not. No, it's not circumstantial.
How is it not circumstantial?
Because we just established it. If you call yourself a right,
but that's only on one topic that you discussed. There's multiple different topics. There's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 different topics.
Okay, but that's not circumstantial. I don't think you understand what circumstantial is.
It depends on the scenario.
Okay, so it's a very simple scenario. I'll repeat it again. You have the president of the United States who's portraying himself as Jesus Christ. The reason why he took it down is because a lot of people in his own party, including many right-wing evangelicals, called it blasphemy. It's why he took it down. And a guy who calls himself the Paleo Christian and bases all of his arguments and politics on his Christianity didn't call it out. That is why I call these people Christians. They are worse than hypocrites. They are fake Christians. And
I agree that Andrew isn't always in the right, and I don't always.
It's not about. There is nobody. There is nobody. There is. Hold on. Hold on. There is nobody and no human being that is always going to be in the right. That is not the argument. Here is my argument. A man, and I use that term "man" very loosely, who calls himself a Christian, who literally bases all of his foundation and arguments and worldview on his Christianity, has not called out the president of the United States, who he still supports, that committed blasphemy today. That is his entire argument, hiding behind his Christianity, because he is a fake and he is a phony and he is a fake Christian. That is not circumstantial.
And you know what? He should have called him out, just like I called him out.
That's
He should have called him
that's obvious. That you're pointing out the obvious, but the fact of the matter is that he didn't. You know why, Nelson? Because he never does. Because so many like those Trump mushroom gobblers out there, like Andrew, fail to call out Donald Trump for anything. They don't call him out for January 6th. They don't call him out for lying about the 2020 election. They don't call him out for attacking POWs. I don't respect John McCain because he was captured. They don't call him out for getting us into an ill-advised and illegal war. They don't call him out for attacking women on looks. They don't call him out for attacking Gold Star families. They don't call him out for taking 20 million people off of Medicaid, taking millions of people off of food stamps. They don't call him out for giving the biggest tax breaks to the richest people in this country, the top 1%. They don't call him out for the liable sexual abuse. They don't call him out for the 34 count felonies. They don't call him out for Trump University. They don't call him out for anything. And that is why it's not circumstantial. Andrew and many other of the Trump mushroom gobbler gang out there are fake Christians. They're fake human beings. They're hypocrites, and they are despicable. Do you understand?
I understand, and I hope you're not yelling at me because I actually completely agree with you here.
Then Nelson, thank you. If you completely agree with me, then maybe you shouldn't be a fan of somebody like that. Thank you for making my point for me, Nelson. I appreciate it. Have a nice day. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. By the way, before we get to the next call, because I know there's a lot of people that are waiting on hold at 702-221-7283, the orange turd today was asked about that Trump Jesus post. Listen to his reasoning and his excuse. Keep in mind, he already took it down. Listen to this.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, "How did they come up with that?" It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better. As an example, the 11,000, I understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's going through some very serious cancer treatment. So
yes, sir.
This goes a long way.
Yes, sir. It sure does.
So let me just get this right. The reason, and by the way, he wasn't depicting himself as a doctor. If he was depicting himself as a doctor, he would have been wearing a white jet, which, by the way, he's not. The morbidly obese man is not a doctor. He was, and if you look at the picture right now that we posted, does that look like a doctor or does that look like Jesus? So not only was Donald Trump lying, the reason why he took it down was not because of Democrats. It was because of Republicans. His own supporters were calling it out. They were all calling it out. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. And again, that number, if you want to be a part of the conversation, is there anybody that can defend this stuff? You're welcome to call in if you're a MAGA supporter. Is there anybody that could defend this? Depicting yourself as Jesus? I actually agree with the right-wing evangelicals. It is blasphemy. It's not funny. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Ryan. Ryan is next up on PTL. Hello, Ryan.
Yeah, I want to talk about the Eric Swalwell quote allegations. I don't think they're allegations. They are in the video. It's proof. He hasn't denied them. So we can stop calling them allegations.
I don't disagree. The only reason why I call sexual abuse an allegation is because that hasn't been proven in a court of law. If we're talking about cheating and inappropriate behavior, I absolutely agree with you. And I'm also one of those people that believes that he should step down. I think he's a scumbag. I've been very clear on that. But, I'm not going to call him, a rapist or, I'm not going to call him that. And the reason why I'm not going to is because obviously that has to be proven in a court of law. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm not willing to go that far yet. I will say the allegations are extremely serious. He should step down. He's scum. I mean, I've been pretty clear on that. Do you see where I'm going there?
Yeah, I mean, but to compare it, and I'm gonna just say this because you said it, but to compare this to Trump, who is not on video doing any of this stuff.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Denied it. Hold on. Just let me make the argument.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Eric Swalwell is not an allegation. You might have to say that for liability purposes.
Yeah, it is. What has been proven? What has been proven in a courtroom?
Well, no.
Okay, so it is an allegation.
What I'm saying is.
So no. You said it's not an allegation.
Stop.
No.
Brian,
Don't
Brian,
don't tell me to
All
stop.
right, okay,
Hold on.
go ahead.
Let's just stop you there, and then I'll let you continue. You said it's not an allegation. So in order for not to be an allegation, what is your threshold? So it doesn't have to be proven in a court of law? Tell me what your threshold is.
It has nothing. It has nothing to do with in a court of law.
So what's the allegation? So what happened? Tell me what happened.
Happened.
So tell me what happened.
Okay, he was in a hotel room with multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an allegation. That's
okay. So being in a hotel with multiple people is not a crime. What was the crime that he committed?
It doesn't. I'm not saying it.
Okay, so you're saying. Okay, so you're saying he didn't commit a crime. So what did he do? He was in a hotel with multiple people. Tell me what he did.
Well, why did he step down?
Tell me what he did. Answer my question. Don't answer a question with a question.
Hold on.
What did he do?
You already said what he did.
What did he do? I'm asking you. Answer my question. What did he do?
He cheated on his wife.
Okay, that's not a crime. That's not a crime. So Donald Trump never cheated on his wife? Donald Trump never cheated on his wife?
I never said it was a crime.
Okay, did Donald Trump ever cheat on his wife? Okay, fair enough. We agree. He cheated on his wife. Has Donald Trump never done that? You didn't like my comparison. You didn't like my comparison to Trump. Has Trump? Okay, thank you. Okay, so we've established that Trump is. Thank you for admitting that. Okay, so is Eric Swalwell a liable sexual abuser?
So he could be.
No. I didn't ask you. I need you to, sir. I need you to pay attention. By the way, nothing about this is funny. Okay. I asked you a question. I didn't ask you maybe if he could be. It's a yes or no answer. Is Eric Swalwell a liable sexual abuser? Yes or no, please, sir. Yes or no, please, sir. Waiting for an answer.
Is he?
Do I stutter?
Is he hold on. Ask the question again one more time.
Is Eric Swalwell a liable sexual abuser?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, so let me help you out. Sir, if you don't know, let me try to help you out. The answer is no. In order to be a liable sexual abuser, it has to be proven in court. Now I'm going to ask you another question. Okay. Is Donald Trump a liable sexual abuser? Yes or no?
Was it on video?
I'm going to ask you the question again, and it has no bearing. Hold on. It has no, by the way, Eric Swalwell is not on tape sexually abusing anybody. Okay. So I'm going to ask you again. I need you to pay attention, sir. You haven't answered my question. It's yes or no. Is Donald Trump a liable sexual abuser? By the way, you don't have to be on video to be a liable sexual abuser. So I'm going to ask it again. Yes or no? We've established that Eric Swalwell is not. Now please answer the question. I'm going to ask it again for a fifth time. Is Donald Trump a liable sexual abuser? Yes or no?
Is there video proof of that?
You don't have to have video proof for somebody to be a liable sexual abuser, you moron. So now I'm going to ask it again. Pot him down again. You either answer my question, yes or no, or the conversation is over. You do not have to be on video committing a crime or to be liable for something. You don't have to be on video doing it. That is irrelevant. The answer, I know the answer to it. You know the answer to it, but you're just not, you don't have any sort of moral compass at all to answer a question honestly. But I'm going to give you another chance, sir, even though with you Trump mushroom gobblers, I have to ask the same question 8 times. Now, we've already established, because you didn't like the comparison in this aspect between Swalwell to Trump, and I agree with you, sir, there is no comparison. Trump is 50 times more the horrific human being. We've established that both of them has cheated on their wives. You already agreed to that. We've established that Eric Swalwell is not a liable sexual abuser. The question that you still refuse to answer, which I will ask one more time because I am running out of patience with you. If you answer it honestly, then we can continue the conversation. I will ask it one more time. Is Donald Trump a liable sexual abuser? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, then you're a moron, and I will explain why, because you're extremely ill-informed and you're very stupid. E.G., you can laugh, but I need you to pay attention. You see, there's, no, and we're all laughing at you because you have no idea what you're talking about. You see, there was a case involving E. Jean Carroll. Okay, it was in civil. Yeah, you do, but you don't know that he was found liable. Okay, it doesn't matter what your opinions are on the case. Be quiet and stop interrupting me. A jury of Donald Trump's peers, regardless of whether you agree with it or not, because I know you're going to defend the indefensible, regardless of whether you agree with the case, regardless of whether you think the jury made the right decision or the wrong decision, is irrelevant. The question that I asked you was, Is Donald Trump a liable sexual abuser? You said no because you're a moron. The answer is yes. Donald Trump has had to pay out E. Jean Carroll millions of dollars. The jury already, excuse me, the proof is irrelevant. The question I asked you was, is Donald Trump a liable sexual abuser? I don't care what your opinions are on proof. I don't care what your opinions are on the case. I could care less. I asked you a question. Now, if you answered the question and you said, yes, he is a liable sexual abuser, but I don't know if I believe E. Jean Carroll, while I would still disagree with you, I could have had that conversation with you. Let's see if you could answer the question again, and then we can talk about the case if you would like, sir. This is now the 10th time I'm asking, and I haven't had one factual answer from you. You said no. I'll give you a chance again. Is Donald Trump a liable sexual abuser? Yes or no? And that question has nothing to do.
You said there was nothing factual.
You said no. Excuse me, sir. Sir, sir, I've now asked you 11 times, and it has nothing to do with proof. It has nothing to do with your opinions on the case. I say again, he was found liable for sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll. That has nothing to do with your opinions on the merit of the case. A jury of his peers found him liable. So now let's see if we can do 1 + 1, sir, and then maybe we can continue the conversation. Why is it that I have to ask all these idiots the same question 10 times before they give me one honest answer? I'm not even sure this guy is capable, but we'll try it one more time with this complete moron. Is Donald Trump a liable sexual abuser? Yes or no?
Is there proof of that? Video?
Yes, the jury found that there was enough proof to find him liable. So I'll ask it now for a 13th time. The jury had more proof and more evidence than you and I had. The jury saw all the evidence. Whether you think there was enough proof or not is completely irrelevant to this question. I didn't ask you your opinions on the case, did I, sir? I didn't ask you if you think the jury got it wrong, did I, sir? I'll repeat my question now for the 13th time, you dumbass. Is Donald Trump a liable sexual abuser? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, then get off my show. You're a complete imbecile. You see, that's the problem with having conversations with stupid morons like that guy. He was found liable for sexual abuse in a court of law. Whether he thinks it was right or wrong is irrelevant to the question. But that's the same dumbass who calls into this show and thinks Eric Swalwell should step down, but can't even admit what already happened in a courtroom a while ago, that a jury found him liable for abuse. By the way, Donald Trump is also the same guy that has 25 women that have accused him of abuse or assault, including his ex-wife in court documents. But this guy is so stupid on the phone, who I just hung up on. He's so stupid that he can't even admit it. He can't even say to himself, yes, even though I disagree with the outcome, because he's extremely ill-informed, extremely uneducated, and it's impossible to have a conversation with somebody like that. Just a complete buffoon. Thanks for the call, buddy. I could ask that guy the same question 30 times. The earth isn't flat. And yes, Donald Trump is a liable sexual abuser. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Big Friendly. Big Friendly is next up on PTL. Hello, Big Friendly.
Hey, Brian, thank you for taking my call, my man.
Sure.
Hey, real quick, I just turned your show on. I just got off work, so I did not know if you guys had discussed Melania or not. But this weekend, excuse me, I went and did a little research and kind of found out what's going on between Wolf and Melania. And there's an interview on YouTube where Michael Wolf lays it out. So basically how it started is that he was suing her for something, and she has her own apartment in her name in the Trump Towers. So she tried to move that lawsuit to Florida. So when him and her, I don't really know the whole ins and outs, she sent him a letter basically stating, take back everything you said, apologize, or I'm going to sue you for $1 billion. You know, the Trump playbook. I'm going to sue you. So he hit her with a SLAPP Act lawsuit. Now, I'm sure you may know what that is, but for your listeners, that's a lawsuit that if me and you were discussing something, we have the right to discuss, question, and ask for answers. And if somebody tries to take our First Amendment right away, we can sue them. So that's what's going on between Wolf and Melania. She tried to threaten him. He slapped her with a SLAPP Act lawsuit. And forgive this pun, but you're in Vegas. Mr. Wolf knows where the bodies are buried, my man.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me. I appreciate the phone call. Didn't we have Melania Trump call into the show earlier? Yeah, we have been talking about Melania. I'd love to have her hold another press conference, by the way. Number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation is 702-221-7283. listen, just to kind of back up a little bit on what we've been discussing here today, even though the caller, not the last caller, but the caller before, I mean, it's impossible to have conversation with people that can't separate fact from fiction, right? I can't do that. But we're talking about, of course, Eric Swalwell. I believe Eric Swalwell should step down. We're talking about Savannah Hernandez, who was assaulted at an anti-ICE protest. Why I think Savannah is a big Trump mushroom gobbler and a MAGA grifter. And the people out there that want all these people arrested for pushing her are the same people that called those who beat cops on January 6th hostages and patriots. We call that hypocrisy. So a lot of different topics we're talking about today. And the Trump Jesus post, too, is something that we've been discussing. 702-221-SAVE. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Let's go to Unique. That's an interesting name. Unique is next up on PTL. Hello, Unique.
Hello. Hi, Brian. I have been ill-informed by the Trump side. I hate the picture that he made, and he is corrupt.
You didn't think he was corrupt before the picture?
Yes, 100%.
100% what? Did you think he was corrupt before the picture? Or?
Corrupt. Corrupt since the day he was born.
Okay. So did you vote for him?
I regret it.
How old are you?
What'd you say?
I said, how old are you?
I'm 20.
You're 20 years old. Okay. So how many times did you vote for him?
Well, I'm 20, so I could have voted for him like once.
Okay, so there's somebody else on the line helping you out here, or I'm confused.
I could only vote for him once.
Okay, yeah, I know, I understand that. I just wanted to know how long it took for you to answer that because you're lying. Okay, so let's hypothetically say you voted for him once. What do you like about Donald Trump? What do you like about him?
I don't like anything.
So
He's corrupt.
So why did you vote for him then?
I didn't think he was corrupt back then.
So a couple of years ago, you didn't think he was corrupt, or a year ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. When did you? How long ago did you vote for him? How long ago was that?
When I turned 18.
So you just said you're 20 years old. That would have been 2 years ago. How did you vote for him 2 years ago when he wasn't running for office 2 years ago? Yeah, you kind of got caught, didn't you? You kind of got caught lying. Okay, so let's now enter the real person. Why don't you tell me your real first name, and then maybe we could have a real conversation, because you're not smarter than me, and you call into this show and you're going to get caught lying. So why don't we try to have a real conversation? So I guess I'm kind of wondering. Okay, so you're gone. Have a nice day. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Again, 702-221-7283. Unfortunately, there are people out there that think they can pull one over on me, and they're so stupid they can't even lie about how old they are and when they voted, unfortunately. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue. I'm going to talk a little bit more when we come back about the Trump Jesus post, because I think it shows how hypocritical right-wing evangelicals are. Blasphemy if you attack Jesus Christ or if you portray yourself as Jesus, but yet it's totally okay with all the other behaviors that Donald Trump has been actively doing for his entire life. I find it so hypocritical. We'll talk about that when we come back. And I also want to get to this whole DoorDash fake photo op situation and why Donald Trump did that earlier today. By the way, the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation is 702-221-7283. Again, that number 702-221-SAVE. We'll be a quick break. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right here on KSHP. All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Monday. We've got some great guests lined up for you, lining out the rest of the week. Congressman Stephen Horsford's going to be joining us in studio here this week. That's going to be a lot of fun. Young man with Turning Point in Phoenix. I debated him a few weeks ago, and the debate went viral. He's actually going to be getting back on the show for debate number 2. That's going to happen on Thursday. Tomorrow, the man known as Roger Stone's nephew is going to be joining us on the show for a debate. He thinks I'm very unfair to Savannah Hernandez, and he thinks I endorse violence, which obviously I would never do. So that's going to be a very hot, heated, spirited debate tomorrow. So you're certainly not going to want to miss that. Leonard Cardinale is going to be joining us in studio on Wednesday. So a lot to talk about. If you're just joining us, there's certainly a lot to talk about today. We had Ron Filipowski from Midas Touch who joined us in the first segment. The Trump Jesus post was obviously something that we spoke about with Ron. We've talked about it today, and the MAGA hypocrisy and the right-wing evangelicals that are upset, and rightfully so. I will back them for being upset on this because obviously it was inappropriate, but they don't seem to be that upset about the Epstein files. They don't seem to be upset about the liable sexual abuse or the fact that he's protecting pedophiles. They certainly don't seem to be upset about this ill-advised and illegal war in Iran, where our brave men and women in uniform are coming home in caskets, and it's costing us something along the lines of $2 billion a day. But they only speak out against Donald Trump when it's about Jesus Christ. I find that just to be a little bit hypocritical. That's just my personal opinion there. So obviously a lot of topics that we're discussing today. Again, number to call 702-221-7283. And again, that number 702-221-SAVE. Let's go to Terry. Terry is next up on PTL. Hi, Terry. What's going on?
Hi, Brian. Good afternoon. Just a couple things. One, I can't tell you how disappointed I am with Eric Swalwell. Very, very disappointed. And, he was leading in the election with the polls over in California. And it's really, really, really a sad time. So I'm real disappointed in him. And I totally agree with you, with your opinion on that. The second thing is that the woman that was delivering the food from Uber.
Yeah.
What a sad thing that a woman has to have an extra job to take care of her husband's cancer. That is absolutely.
It's a good point.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it's a good point. I was just going to add, you're right. It is disgusting. And she was there because I guess, trying to endorse the no tax on tips cap at $25,000. Meanwhile, she's the one who's trying to pay for her husband's cancer because he took away her medical coverage. I mean, it's like, it's such hypocrisy. It's so despicable, isn't it? It's pathetic.
It truly is. And that was just a sad moment when that information came out. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And the last thing is that in terms of Pope Leo, I'm not Catholic, but the College of Cardinals did a great job in who they nominated to be the next Pope, because this man will speak out and he is not afraid of Donald Trump.
Yeah. I mean, I think there are people out there that are not afraid. We need more people like that to come forward. There's no question about it. At the same time, I'm just pretty upset and pretty heartbroken at where this country's at right now. It's some sick stuff. I appreciate the phone call, my dear. Thank you so much. I really do.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you. Number to call 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you would like to be a part of the program. I also would like to read to all of you about the Trump Jesus image. So the Trump Jesus image, just to let you guys know, has already been shared. It was shared on February 4th by the guy by the name of Nick Adams, who I've gotten into it with on social media before. Again, a Trump apologist to no avail. He was appointed by Donald Trump as special presidential envoy for American tourism, exceptionalism, and values. Just a meaningless job. The main contrast in Nick's version, the soldier above Trump appears relatively normal as far as AI-generated visuals go. But in Trump's post, that same figure looks far more distorted, almost like a demon, an AI demon, for lack of a better term. But this was somewhat of a image that
was used in the past, but now used by Donald Trump. And let me go back to what that last caller just said, because I think this is very important. You had a woman, and listen, it's a very sad story. And a woman who apparently her husband has cancer. And, cancer obviously, I would imagine, affects most of us in one way or another. We know somebody maybe sadly that has lost their life to cancer. And they're trying to show Trump as being some sort of hero because this woman is delivering food to try to make tips, to try to pay for her husband's cancer treatment. And somehow that's a good thing in this country. That's a good thing for America. What are we doing? What are we doing? And I feel bad for her. I really do. I feel bad for her husband. But let me be very clear on this. Donald Trump is the guy who is responsible for forcing this woman to have a job while she's trying to take care of her husband who has cancer. He's taken away Medicaid for 20 million Americans. I would certainly assume that this woman is one of them. This is the guy who's taken away government programs for all these people. And I want to play for you again if I can, because I think it's a really important interaction with the press earlier today, because you see this woman, and obviously it's a staged photo op type situation, where she knocks on the White House door. Donald Trump is waiting there to plop out. And I want to play this for you because it's so staged. And they do this all the time. Do you remember they did this at a fast food restaurant where this black lady comes out and gives Donald Trump a hug? And we learned that she is a black operative, Republican operative. This is not something new within the Trump administration. They do it all the time. And this is really, it makes me extremely uncomfortable because I would imagine this lady's not lying about her husband, right? But it makes me so uncomfortable that they found this lady and they said, hey, this would be a great person. Let's tip her as a delivery driver. And the no tax on tips is helping pay for her husband's cancer when he's taking away the medical benefits for people like this that are struggling, living paycheck to paycheck to begin with. Watch this.
McDonald's.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you. I have your DoorDash. You want to record you, Mr. President?
That's right. Look at this. This doesn't look staged, does it?
They're all your favorites.
That's good. These are good. DoorDash is doing a good job. So the reason for this is the fact that I heard you picked up an extra $11,000 that you didn't get because the tax bill was so big. The refund was the biggest you've ever had. Is that a correct statement?
It definitely was. Yeah, I saved over $11,000 by not having to claim.
Was that surprising to you?
It was very surprising. Very
The
surprising.
great big beautiful bill. And that doesn't include overtime in your case. This is only just based on what we did in terms of every other aspect of the tax bill, right?
Yes, sir.
So it was 11,007.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that incredible? And that's what it is. The tax cut, it's really, we call it the great big beautiful bill. We should call it the great big beautiful tax cut bill because it's tremendous amounts of money. And that's overtime. That's also on Social Security, as you know.
Yes.
And it's pretty amazing.
Yes, it
And
is.
you're really nice. Would you like to do a little news conference one day with these people? These are not the nicest people. They're not nice like you. You know that, right?
I'll do whatever you ask me to do, sir.
So the no tax on tips is something special, right?
It's very special.
And that's the one that really pertains to you more than anything else.
Yes, sir.
That's fantastic. It's so such an honor to meet you. And I think you voted for me, did that?
Maybe.
Yeah. I heard you're a great supporter. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's not a maybe. Yeah, she did support Donald Trump. Yeah, she did. And Donald Trump talks about the big and beautiful bill. And I'm sorry for that lady's husband and what they're going for. But you see, that lady isn't smart enough to understand because she's an ignoramus. She doesn't seem to understand that the big and beautiful bill has taken health care away from her. She doesn't seem to understand. And I'm just talking the way she's talking because I'm so sick of these people. I'm so sick of them. She doesn't seem to understand that she shouldn't have to be at her age delivering food so that her husband could get the cancer treatment that he needs. And she's so ignorant that she doesn't even know that what is in the big and beautiful bill is hurting her her husband, and probably her entire family. But she's just not smart enough. As Donald Trump says, he loves the uneducated. He loves the uneducated. 702-221-7283, 702-221-SAVE if you want to be a part of the conversation. The first thing Donald Trump says, oh, does this look staged? Yeah, because it was staged. You think you would get somebody that wasn't a Trump supporter to do that and take advantage of somebody that's ill-informed, whose husband has cancer? Let's go to Mark. Mark is next up on PTL. What's up, Mark?
Hi, yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Go right ahead.
Hey, at some point you just lose the thought process entirely in looking at so many stupid things. So this woman just happened to be delivering McDonald's food to the White House, and the Secret Service and all these folks just let her walk in without any vetting beforehand.
Right.
You want me to believe this? It's so ridiculous. It really is ridiculous.
And I really, there's a part of me that really feels bad for her, even though I blame people like that for getting Trump back in office. I feel bad for her, right? I mean, her husband has cancer, which is terrible. I wish him the best. And she thinks that Donald Trump is helping her with this no tax on tips, when in turn, it's actually hurting her with the big and beautiful bill. If not for Donald Trump, maybe she would have the free health care that her and her husband deserve, but instead she has to deliver McDonald's. I mean, it's just terrible.
The sounds you're about to hear is me banging my head against a wall to feel better.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, the other thing I want to mention regarding this Eric Swalwell business is that, and you touched on it, is that people can make accusations all day long. And I can tell you that there are many people who are a little shy of telling the truth about things. So I would like everybody to just calm down, wait, see what other facts, actual verifiable facts come out.
Yeah. So Mark, here's what I would say to that. Mark, here's what I would say to that. I don't know if he did anything criminal. Here's what I do know. He had plenty of improprieties. There's videos of him with other women, some of them paid women. And I'm going to tell you this, if you're a member of Congress and you're getting hookers, regardless of whether you're married or not, you should be outed from Congress. Now, let's forget about the other more serious allegations, right? And you're right. I don't know if they're true or not, but I do know that he was with women that he was paying to have relations with. He's a married man with kids. And I believe when you're paid by the taxpayer and you have a public job like that, you should not be allowed to continue that job. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about these videos or allegations. I'm left standing on the sidelines wondering what is true and what is.
Well, there's a video of him. There's a video of him recently.
That's why I want to wait.
I understand, but there's a video of him recently with a paid escort, and he's touching her and grabbing her in a sexual manner. And I don't think we need to play it, but I will say that it's beyond inappropriate, and it's part of the reason why he apologized to his family, right? So I think we could have better people.
Yeah, this is a difference between Democrats and Republicans, is that Republicans go basically, they get on their knees and they pray to Cheeto Jesus. And
listen,
he forgive me.
Mark.
He forgives me, so therefore I can just stay in my position.
Mark, this is where, Mark, let me be very clear, Mark. This is where I agree with you 150%. You're absolutely right. I agree. It's a fundamental difference between Republicans and Democrats. When they see this type of behavior, they call it out. Most MAGA Republicans will never do it. So you're not going to get an argument from me there. I agree with you. It's called hypocrisy. All I'm simply saying again is I don't know whether Eric Swalwell committed any crimes. What I do know is there were improprieties, and it appears as though with paid escorts, and if you're a member of Congress, you can't do that. But obviously, I agree with your point when it comes to Donald Trump, 150%.
Yeah, I'm just tired of all of the stupidity out there in the public.
Listen, I'm with you there, pal. I get those calls every day. So I completely agree with you there. Hey, Mark, it's good to hear from you. I appreciate your phone call. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to Pete. I believe Pete is next up on PTL. Let's go to Pete. Pete, what's going on, man?
Hello.
Hi, Pete. Lower your radio, please, for me, because there's a little delay there and it's distracting.
Yes, sir, I got it.
Thank you, Pete. Go right ahead.
Well, I just want to say that lady that
come to the White House, the Oval Office,
Yeah.
the DoorDash lady.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to first say, God bless her. I'm sorry
Yes.
that her husband has cancer, and I'll say a prayer for her and her husband. However, ain't no way in Hades that lady has saved $11,000 on tax on tips. There's no way.
I don't believe
She
it.
ain't never paid 11,000. She ain't never made. I'm not a numbers man, but she ain't never paid that much taxes in her life.
I tend to agree with you on that. Yes.
And if she's lying, he's lying. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, man.
But let's just.
say-
So I agree with you. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'll let you finish, but I agree with you. But I just want to take it a step further. Even if she did save 11,000, let's just get for a moment, for argument's sake, let's just give her the benefit of the doubt. She's still losing because the big and beautiful bill would take her Medicare coverage away and should be spending more on medical coverage. So even if that was true, and by the way, I agree with you, but even if you were wrong, she's still losing money because of Donald Trump's policies, and her husband can't get the coverage he needs. By the way, cancer treatment is a lot more than $11,000 a year. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, this lady ain't making that much money to even have. I'll bet she don't even pay taxes. I mean, my gosh, come on, man. But anyway, yeah, I just want to say I'm tired of all these lies every freaking day, man. Every freaking day they're lying to us.
I hear you, brother.
I mean,
I hear you.
Thank you.
I hear you, brother. Have a good one.
man. Thanks, sir.
God bless you too. Thank you, sir. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Let's go to LJ. LJ is next up on PTL. Hello, LJ.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, good. What's on your mind?
I was just gonna ask, like you and I, we don't really differ on political opinion at all. Everything seems to check out. I, agree with you on pretty much everything.
Yep.
The only thing I question is like, I don't really get mad when I go to McDonald's and there's no Whopper option, or I don't get mad if I go to Burger King and there's no Big Mac option. In other words, I don't get mad when Trump supporters say stupid things because it's expected. I mean, we've got to just figure out a way to just skip the communication piece with them and go straight to the debunk phase. Just put everything out there in retort and just don't even respond to them, because at this point, that's what they want, is to just be able to have something to deflect. And if we give them nothing to deflect except for more articles in writing, more retorts in visual aids, then we would be kind of, putting ourselves out there more on the attack instead of defending stupid things that they say, on a minute basis.
Well, I agree. And I think sometimes, Democrats need to get off of the defensive and get on the offensive, because I agree with you. I think I agree with you, sir. In general terms, enough is enough already, especially now when you look at where we're at as a country. I completely agree. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. 702-221-SAVE. January's next up on PTL. Hello, January.
Hello.
Yes.
How are you doing today?
Good. What's on your mind?
I don't know. Trump is just looking really bad right now.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you.
Things are going downhill for him. I feel like many people are starting to realize that he's corrupt.
I tend to agree with you on that. Yes. How old are you, January?
I am just turned 18 last week.
You just turned 18 last week, so you weren't able to vote yet.
No, not yet.
Gotcha. Where do you go to school, January?
Currently I'm in a trade school.
You're 17 years old and you're in a trade school. Oh, you just turned 18. What state do you live in?
I live in Florida.
What part of
Central Florida?
That's cool. What part of Florida? What city?
What did you say?
I'm sorry. What's it called?
What did you say?
I said, what city? What city?
Like, it's not really a city. Like, I live in the middle of like Tampa and Orlando.
You're in the middle of Tampa and Orlando?
Yeah, like kind of like in the middle of those two.
What city?
I think it is like.
You don't know the name of the city you live in?
No, I know the name of the city.
Oh, okay.
Say it out to a ton of people.
Oh, because you think people are going to find you because you gave out a fake first name and you're saying you live in an area that you don't live in. You think people are going to find you? What trade school do you go to?
I go to Travis.
I'm sorry, what's it called?
Okay, Dan, give me a minute. Travis Technical College.
And where's Travis Technical College? Where's that located?
It is located in between Lakeland and Bartow.
And what city is that?
That is in, I want to say like Lakeland and Bartow.
You want to say
like Highland City.
You don't know the city where you attend a trade school? You don't know the city?
It's in Lakeland.
Gotcha. Who's the governor of your state?
Ron DeSantis.
Gotcha. Who's the mayor of your city?
I don't know.
You don't know who the mayor of your city is?
No.
No, you
Do
don't.
you?
Let me ask you a question. No, I don't live there. I have no idea. Let me ask you a question. I don't know how old you are. You could be 16. You could be 18. I really don't know. Here's what I do know. When I was 16 years old, I had better things to do with my life, hanging out with friends and family, than calling and pranking political talk shows. So my question to you is, with all the things that you're able to do right now, it could be playing video games. It could be out with your friends, maybe even doing something called homework, spending time with your family. Serious question. Why do you waste our time and why do you waste your time in calling into a radio show and lying? Does it really entertain you that much? Is it that much fun for you to do that?
Have phones back then. Too,
all right. Have a nice day. Right. You're very funny. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Danny. Danny is next up on PTL. What's up, Danny? Danny, if you could do me a favor, please, and lower your radio. What's up, Danny?
I'm sorry, I'm watching them right now. Give me 1 second.
You're good. You're good.
I want to hear what's going on. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Yep, we're down.
Okay, go right ahead, sir.
Are we on there?
Yes, we are. Go right ahead.
Hey, brother, you watched that video I sent on your X page, right?
I have a lot of followers and I see a lot of videos, so I'm not sure which video you're referring to. I'm sorry.
You should go to that one about that girl being pushed, and I directly commented under it, and it's pretty good ratio right now at the full video. And I said, why did you put this narrative up there?
You're saying you don't like my narrative? Is that what you're saying?
No. I said you put a small video that shows a narrative.
Yep.
And you should have showed the whole thing. I don't know if that's only what you got. What you're being told.
No, I mean, I saw the whole video. I saw what happened.
So, and that's where you're going to stand is that guy gently pushed that girl over.
Okay. So that's what we were getting at. So you disagree with me. So she was shoved multiple
100%.
Okay. So she was shoved multiple times. As I've said, multiple.
Videos in
are you going to let me?
on X.
Okay. So are you going to let me finish?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Sorry
So
about that.
that's okay. So I've called out any sort of physical violence, no matter how hard you think she was pushed, is irrelevant. Assault is assault. If you push somebody lightly or if you push somebody hard, it's still assault. I've called that out and I've said it's wrong. What I have also said is, as she was leaving, she was smiling. As she was leaving, she was fixing her hair for the camera. And she was not injured. She didn't get any medical help. She was fine. She was smiling. And then today she wakes up and she says she has a headache and her neck is stiff. Number one, I think she's lying. And number two, do you know anything about this woman's history, sir?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Actually, I do.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Actually, I do.
I'm glad to
know
hear
all
that.
About her. But let's look. So this is exactly what those MAGA fucktards want.
All right, you
They
can't
like
swear.
this stuff.
You can't.
They want a viral pic.
Hold on,
I'm sorry,
sir.
I apologize.
Okay, you
Won't
can't.
do it no more.
So do you agree with that's?
I'm just reading
So
your
do you agree with me then? Because I thought you disagreed with me. I'm trying to get your opinion.
I do disagree with you. I'm just reading.
Okay,
your
so what did I do? What did I say that you specifically disagree with? Please tell me, sir.
A light push or shove.
Okay,
and
so
they go viral. Play
right.
victim, and they try to look like a hero.
Yep.
Savannah is an example of an America's worst.
Yeah. So what do you disagree with me on?
So I disagree with you. It's not a light push or shove.
Okay.
The guy comes up
All right.
behind her,
Okay.
pushes
Fair enough.
her to the
Fair
ground.
enough. So according to our laws, even if it's a light push or a harder push, by the way, with the quote unquote hard push, she got up immediately and she wasn't injured. But even if you think you disagree with my assessment, it's the same crime, wouldn't it be, sir? So it's not like a higher level, right?
But you're trying to justify.
Nope, didn't just
light-
pot him down. Never did I justify, and I will repeat again, so get the MAGA wax out of your ears. What I said was all forms of political violence, whether it be a light push or a hard push, are all wrong. So you are wrong. So I will ask you again, what do you disagree with me on now that we've cleared that up?
Has to offer. And then let's go down. Let's go down and talk about your comments. You want to talk about?
I'm waiting for you to make one valid statement where you disagree with me on.
You're justifying.
Pot him down again. No, I'll repeat it now for a fifth. Boy, you Trump supporters are so damn stupid. I've said it now 5 times in this conversation, you dumbass. And I also said it multiple times on social media, you idiot. Any form of political violence, whether it's a light shove or a hard shove, I want them held to the highest extent of the law. What part of that statement do you not understand? Did I say it clearly enough? Sir, this is the problem when you talk over me. Wait till I'm done. What part of that statement do you not agree with or understand?
Let's
No. You're not a real man because I've now said the same thing 5 times and you've wasted my airtime and you have 20 seconds. What part of that statement do you not understand?
You're not paying for it. You're not paying for airtime.
All right. Have a nice day. You're obviously not a very serious person. And again, when I trap people in a corner and I say, what part of my statement do you not understand? They literally can't give me an answer. They literally can't give me a straight answer. I just said whether it's a light push or a hard push, it's irrelevant. It's both assault, and I disagree with either. Notice how he couldn't be specific and tell me what he disagreed with me on. Thank you for making a fool of yourself, sir. I really do appreciate it. And defending Savannah. You sound like your typical Trump mushroom gobbler. Have a nice day. We are actually going to be talking about this tomorrow. And I'm going to be getting into a debate with, I hope, with someone that makes a better argument than that last idiot did. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Please make donations, pushingthelimits.live. And again, the website is pushingthelimits.live, where you're supporting independent media. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And we will discuss further tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.